Hey Paul, we're going to do an interview today of your rig.
Okay.
And what kind of rig do you have?
This is a weird one. I have a 1989 bread truck. It's a Utilitmaster with a GMC frame and a Cummins diesel 4-cylinder motor.
Nice. And I know you have a channel. What is your channel called?
Paul Barger. It's my name. So,
Paul Barger.
Yeah. And since I drive a bread truck, I kind of call myself the bread trucker. So you can find me on like Instagram as the bread trucker, or I think if you look at that on YouTube, you might find that too.
I think that's how I found you.
Yeah. Okay.
Was looking at bread trucker. So okay, so Paul Barger and bread trucker.
Mm-hmm.
And let's do a little walkthrough of your setup here.
Cool. Well, we're already at like my favorite place right now is my office area. I wanted like a full kind of workstation that I could sit down and do actual work in. So I put in a full desk, like a computer desk and everything here. So I do a lot of editing, of course, because I do YouTube videos. And yeah.
Yeah, this is an official office here. And the way you travel is you just lay everything flat and put like a net across to hold it down.
Yeah, okay, so I'll demonstrate. I have this cargo net that was designed for like the back of a pickup truck. So I just unroll that and I hook that over here on the side. There's, oh, it's kind of...
They got bungees on it?
Yeah, there's this material here is bungee stuff, like the main cables. So I have a hook down here, and I hook that one, and then there's a hook up here. And I hook that one, and it makes a nice little fence. There's actually another hook down here that I can get. So that kind of fences things in, and I lay down the desktop tower and the monitor and get rid of all these little knickknacks. And that's kind of how I travel. I put other boxes in there to kind of take up the space so it doesn't slide around, you know? So yeah, when I'm moving, this office is not really all that functional right now. But I just got power, so I just kind of got it all working and everything. So.
Yeah, so let's look at your power. You just got this solar
Aren't I good at segues?
Yes. Awesome.
So yeah, this just got all together 2 weeks ago, maybe. I don't think it's even been a full 2 weeks, but I'm super proud of this as well. It's like my power center. I have 700 watts of solar power on the roof, and that all feeds into this. It's with a Midnight Classic 150 SL controller. The batteries are AGM. Sorry if I'm going too fast.
That's okay.
The power inverter is an Ames power inverter. It's 2,000 watts, and that's also like a 3-in-1 unit. It has a battery charger, and it's a converter so that I can plug into shore power and charge my batteries if I'm at an RV spot or something like that, someone's house. And it's not even bright outside or anything. I can plug in that way.
Okay.
The batteries are 6-volt golf cart batteries. They're AGM sealed. They're each 190 amp hours, and the way I have them wired comes out to 380 amp hours total.
Wow, that's a lot.
So, it's pretty good, and it actually is good enough for my needs right now because I don't run that much. But I have space to add 2 more batteries to increase that another 190 amp hours. So I left room for expansion and upgrades in here. So. And
potentially, what would you want to be running? What would you run with all this power?
I don't really have that much I intend on running. So I have 2 ceiling fans, and I want to kind of be able to run those at all times, but that's pretty low draw, maybe 5 amps each. My computer, I would love to be able to run that 24/7 pretty much. I turn it off when I go to bed. With the power inverter, I turn that off. Over here I have a washing machine, which I will actually be able to do my own laundry on board and not have to go to a laundromat, and I don't need a dryer because the way these work, they spin the clothes so well that you don't really even need a dryer. I'm going to hang it up in here
Okay.
to finish it off, you know?
Yeah. Oh, and a juicer.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So
And LED lights.
and LED lights?
Yeah.
Did you say a fridge, or you're not going to do a fridge?
No, I don't think I'm going to do a fridge. Not right away. I don't even have a cooler. I want to change the way I eat, so I'm starting to change to more raw, whole, like natural foods. And I don't really need to, you know, if I buy fresh fruits and vegetables a lot, I don't need to, you know, store too much cold stuff.
Okay.
So that may be something I add down the road, though.
Okay. Cool. You have a very small bed. My
It's
bed,
very narrow.
but it's long, but it's narrow. It's probably like 2 feet wide, if that.
2 feet wide, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that actually overhangs a little bit. So yeah, 24 inches wide. Let me explain this weird 2x4 situation that's going on here.
Yeah.
This used to be a bread delivery truck. And when I got it, all the bread delivery shelves were ripped out of it. These were the originals, where the bread racks would like slide into those.
Yeah.
And the previous owner ripped all those racks out and replaced it with 2x4 racks. He did general contracting, flipping properties kind of things. So he used this for all sorts of projects. And he just put tools in these racks and construction supplies and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So when I got it, I just thought I would cut out what I don't want and just build around it. So like you'll see there's shadows. See, there's a shadow here and right here. That's places where there were shelves that I cut them out.
Okay.
So there was a big shelf that went like all the way here, you know, and I cut out space for my bed. So the idea of this build is cheap and easy. I wanted to build it as cost effectively as possible. I use as many repurposed things as I can. So that's kind of the whole reason.
That it doesn't really make sense right now for a van build because it was meant to hold tools.
Yeah.
So you're eventually going to redo the whole inside, but right now you're just building it to live in for now.
Yeah, I have 2 phases to my build, so this will help you understand why I'm doing this. So phase 1, I'm just using it for myself to travel and like see the United States, maybe Canada and Mexico in this. But phase 2 is I want to turn it into like a house truck. That's way more of a house than it is a truck. I want to raise the roof over 3 feet higher than it is now. Put in a king-size loft up there, full wooden staircase, and make it really like a house, fully functional, off-grid tiny house. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
So yeah, that's why the first phase of my build looks so, you know, it's just 2x4s. It's very simple, and you know, I'm trying to keep it very cost effective. So.
Nice. Yeah, let's go back to the
So
bed.
I do have, I have a plan. What I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna make another 24-inch platform kind of that will slide out from underneath, where I can expand the width of my bed by, you know, twice as wide as it is now, and it'll kind of come out, you know, out to here. So when I'm done with it, I can slide it away, put those cushions as a back to like a couch
Okay.
during the day. So,
All right.
I do have a plan to get a wider
Nice.
bed. So.
Yeah, it is kind of thin.
Yes, but it is comfortable for me, surprisingly. It's like army cut size, and it works for me.
That is true. That's true.
Yeah. So over here is storage right now, but I have a lot of things for projects in here. There's actually 2 boxes in the back there with 2 46-gallon tanks that I'm going to be installing. Up here I have a 15-gallon tank. And then I have some other various projects and storage stuff in here. But this will be my shower stall and my bathroom. One thing that I really wanted for this truck was to have a bathroom where people can be in here hanging out, that you could go in, close the door, and have total privacy with a private bathroom. So that I'm going to have a door here that I have room to have 6 to 8 people hanging out in my truck. So if someone needs to go to the bathroom, they can, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to build it this way. You'll actually go into the bathroom. This will be kitchen space. So I'm going to shorten my kitchen space a little bit, so this will be actually part of the bathroom. So toilet will be in this area where you'll go into the door there, sit down in that section, and then this will be the shower stall as well. So
cool.
yeah, I want to use repurposed stuff. Like I've seen a lot of people use like feeding trough or something like that from agricultural supply.
Yeah.
I would like to incorporate that as the tub, and then I would actually drill a hole into it, put a drain in it, and make that go to my gray water tank. That would actually be the same place you would stand to use the toilet. You'd be standing in the shower tub, really. I'll separate, I won't have shower like walls. It'll be a shower curtain that goes around to separate everything off that runs into the tub.
Okay, cool. Nice. And then your kitchen area, what were you, do you have a stove or are you?
I have a stove, but it's just in a box that I take out when I need to cook something.
Okay.
But this is kind of, it's very not organized right now, but this will be my kitchen space. I only intend on having like a 1-burner stove and a juicer and very basic kitchen stuff. But I will have, my plan is to have full hot and cold running water for the bathroom and the kitchen on board. So
cool.
yeah, I want to get an on-demand, propane water heater for that. So I'll have a sink in here that will drain to the gray water tank. My plan for the washing machine, the clothes washing machine, is to mount it on a drawer here where I like open a door, or maybe have the facade look like a drawer, but the whole thing would slide out where I could load my clothes in and then slide it back away. I would really like to try to do is make it so that I can do laundry while I'm driving down the road. I think that would be awesome.
That would be that would be probably a little bumpy. You get a little more washing going on.
Yeah, it could, yeah. I'm brewing kombucha as well, and that sloshes around a lot. Like, I have to put in, like, it looks kind of bad. Don't look at this one. The top is a little dirty. It's just a ring from the metal. But, yeah, it does get sloshed around a lot, so I have, like, this little plastic tray that I take the cheesecloth off and I put that down in there so that it can't slosh out.
Oh, nice.
But this will change. This will all be cabinets in the back for food storage. There's tons of lost room up here. I'm just using it for storage for projects right now. So that brings me to this odd thing that I have is a big bundle of bamboo. I'm from Orlando and it grows everywhere, so I just brought a bunch of raw bamboo that I cut down out of my friend's yard. Hi, John. I am going to cover all these 2x4s with it and just do little projects with it. So this is kind of like project building supplies stored up there. So.
Nice. Yeah, the bamboo will look really cool on the inside.
Yeah, I want to kind of like a tiki theme maybe, or a little Hawaiian kind of theme.
Nice.
I've always had a thing about Hawaii, so I think it'd be cool to do like a...
That'd be nice, yeah.
I think so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about your floor, because a lot of people are doing these vinyl flooring. And was it you installed it yourself, and was it easy? Was it difficult?
It was more difficult than I thought. It was my first time ever installing this, so I could have done the project a little bit better, but what I started out with was just a bare aluminum floor, and it had rivets in it and molding and stuff that goes to the side, so it was uneven surfaces, and I laid it over that. Next time, if I was to do this again, I would put down a nice thin wood subfloor first to even it out, and then lay the floor on top of that. But it is very warm. I have insulation underneath, a very thin insulation, but it warmed up the truck a whole bunch. It's so much better, and it's very durable too. So vinyl plank is a good way to go.
Yeah, because this whole rig, the metal, it just sucks all the heat out. You get extremely cold at night, I'm sure, without
it can be, yeah,
having the coverings on the metal.
Yep. The because aluminum, it's made for heat sinks and to remove heat away from electronics and stuff like that. So yeah, you could actually feel like the floor sucking the heat out of you. It was really very cold when it was no floor at all. But I'm actually kind of lucky with this because all this wood on the sides and the roof, there's insulation behind all of it. This is an insulated truck. It wasn't refrigerated, but there is a bit of insulation. There's 1-inch foam board behind the plywood on the walls, and then there's insulation in the roof as well. So that helps, and I'm going to add more insulation as I finish it.
Cool. So, nice. Yeah. Well, and you've got one last thing is your 2 fans. What kind of fans are they?
Yes, those are Max fans. I just got those installed. They're kind of wired temporarily right now, but they do work. They're 10 speed. You can work them in either direction, so they bring air in or out. I can reverse the speed just like that, and now it's going to bring air in rather than out.
Nice.
You can leave the vent open in the rain and as you drive. It doesn't affect it, so it's a really cool fan. I have 2 of them, so I can exchange a lot of air that way.
Yeah.
And it helps when you maybe might be needing air conditioning. This makes it so much more comfortable.
Yeah. The having it open while it's raining is nice, because sometimes, like, you might leave it open on accident, and I mean, I've done that.
For sure. And no water comes in. I've left it open in rainstorms, and the way it's built, there's a shroud on the outside that it doesn't ever come in. So
that's so cool.
I like those. So
how did you get onto the road? What prompted you to start living in a step van? Okay.
So I worked at a very good grocery store. It's very well respected in the Southeast. And I worked there for nearly 10 years, and I was a deli manager. So my history has been in food service. Before that, a lot, and I've been a chef and banquet chef and things like that in other places. So anyways, I became a deli manager, and it was just not fulfilling to me at all. I was in a salaried position. They required you to work 50 hours a week. Ended up being more like 70 hours a week, and even at that, they weren't happy. Pay was great. I cannot complain about the pay at all, but it still wasn't worth it. I had no time. I was just a slave to this system that I was selling a dream in this company that I didn't even believe in myself. So
yeah.
I had a dog that was like my best buddy, and I lost him in like June last year. And that's what was the final thing that made me make the decision and change my life and do all these things that I've been talking about doing and thinking about doing, and I actually went for it after that happened. I wanted to he was such a good thing for me. Made huge positive changes in my life. I decided that I will make his passing a huge positive thing as well. So that's kind of the catalyst that started it all. So.
And then did you start looking into van life particularly, or how did you come across buying a step van specifically? Okay.
Well, it's kind of funny how I came across the step van. I've always thought bread trucks and stuff were cool, but I bought this for only the reason of the motor. I wanted to take the motor out and put it into a vintage RV that I have. It's like a back burner project. It's back in Orlando at my dad's house. But that was the whole idea, was to just destroy this thing and take the motor out and build my RV up. I have been watching YouTube videos for years about van life, and I was definitely attracted to the lifestyle and traveling, and it was something I always wanted to do. So once I decided I wanted to travel and quit that job and totally change everything, I just had to decide what vehicle I was going to take. And when I really started looking at this vehicle, it was too good to destroy. I was like, this is a great platform itself. Why destroy it, take the engine out, put it into something else? I might as well just stay with this. So that's how I ended up in the bread truck.
Nice.
I hope to bring the RV back one day too, but I want to do a lot of projects. So I'm interested in alternate housing. That's what I want my business to be about.
Okay.
Building homes out of anything. You know, say you got a step van and it doesn't run and drive. You could park this body on a piece of property and make it a house, even though it doesn't move.
Mm-hmm.
I'm into all kinds of things like that. I think there's too many ways to provide housing for people without the 30-year mortgage and the mountain of debt. That's kind of my whole purpose,
Mm-hmm.
and the reason for my starting a business. And I'm starting with this. So
yeah, this is great beginnings, and I'm excited to see where this goes.
Thanks.
So again, you are Paul Berger, and you
Mm-hmm.
are on YouTube and Instagram and all sorts of things.
Yes.
And if you would like to follow his channel, I'll put a link below.
Sub below.
Yeah, sub to my channel, sub to his channel.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for the interview.
Oh, look at that. One thing that I hate about van life is sitting in laundromats. I have been ripped off by machines. You know, you put your money in and you sit there, wait for it to dry, and then it's not drying.
Mm-hmm.
So then you got to take all that money, put it back into a different machine, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't like laundromats. And so I wanted to be able to do laundry on board, and I found this solution. It's a 120 volt thing, so I do need to plug it into the inverter.
Mm-hmm.
But my inverter will run it with ease, and it's very low draw. It really.
How much water do you have to put into it?
I've heard it's about 6 gallons per load.
Okay.
So I have not used it yet. It's brand new, and
Yeah.
I'm not really set up. I could use it right now. I can just have the water hooked up to this and have it work like a regular washing machine. I'm just gonna floor it out completely.
Where did you buy this?
This is Amazon.
It's on Amazon?
And Eric, he uses something very similar to this, Nomadic Fanatic, and I'm just gonna toss that over there. He uses something very similar. This one's called a Costway.
Costway.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So, this is somewhat of a manual washing machine. So the way it works is, this is a timer for your wash cycle and your rinse cycle. This is an agitate basin. So this will only wash the clothes or rinse the clothes. So it'll just move them around to get the dirt off. Okay.
So the bottom's the only thing that spins? Or is
Yeah.
there a thing that comes
Yeah,
in the
this
middle?
this bottom spins, and that just gets the clothes really going, and it stops, and it'll suddenly go the other direction to get the clothes all agitated and get the dirt free.
Okay.
And then you'll drain it. So once that wash cycle is done, then you go into this basin. You have to flip it back and forth yourself a couple times.
Okay.
So you take all your wet clothes, put it in this, and this only spins. This will remove all of the moisture from your clothes. So you just pack that thing, full, and you let it spin for however long, I don't know, 4 minutes or something. Then once you're done spinning, you need to put it back in here to rinse with just fresh water.
Okay.
So you'll do another agitate and then another spin. So you have to flip it back and forth.
Okay.
But
And
to me, that's so much more convenient than sitting in a laundromat for hours. So.
Yeah, especially if you're already set. Like, I know sometimes I go to laundromats to get their Wi-Fi and like just hang out for a little bit. But if you're set up and don't need to do that, then yeah, having something like this, and so does it? You could put like shirts. You can't put bedding in this. It's not.
Right. Yeah. It's too small for bedding for sure.
So it'd be just like your basic clothing to put in there.
Yeah. Clothes. Some small towels. I think you could do. Or maybe a couple big towels. But yeah, this isn't for anything kind of big. This is all your daily laundry, though. For sure. Yeah.
Awesome. And you got this on Amazon for about how much?
I think this was just over $100, around $110 or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I mean, and the thing that I hear about these a lot is that this is like a big plastic thing. What I hear people say is that it seems like this is really cheaply made and it's kind of crappy, but it turns out that it's an excellent product. It works very well and it's durable. So it's kind of the opposite of a lot of things. Some things look nice and then they fall apart and they're crappy, But from what I've heard, that these are actually made really well and really durable. This whole thing's only like 20 pounds. I mean, I can easily lift it up with like, I'm sitting down and I can like lift it up without falling off, So
it looks very light, and I was thinking like it's very basic plastic. you would have to do smaller loads, not like you would stick in a normal washer and dryer, but like you said, you were just going to hang up your damp clothes because for the most part they shouldn't be dripping wet.
Right. From what I've heard, I haven't used it yet, but this thing spins so hard and fast that 95% of the moisture is gone. You hang it up for 30 minutes and it's dry.
Nice.
So I don't foresee the need to have a dryer of some kind. So, and I have so much space in here. I could literally put a laundry line through my truck and hang it all up. And it can drip on the floor a little bit if it is that wet, but I don't think it even is that wet.
And you can tie a rope to a tree outside
Totally, yeah.
and do it that way.
My idea for this thing is I want a stealth camp. So I like get off on going into like downtown areas and
Doing your
docking
laundry.
where nobody's allowed to go.
Yeah.
So I want to do everything self-contained, and like, that's kind of my idea. But
And you're definitely on your way to doing that. That's a really cool item. I've never seen anything
I'm
like
super
that.
excited about this. I love clean clothes and yeah, so.
All right. Well, thank you.